Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another Astral interview. And today with me, I have Shlomo Shoham. I am very excited to interview Shlomo today. He's my teacher helper, and he's right now in Israel, in beautiful Israel. And we're just going to have a conversation with him about him, his life, and his work. So welcome. So happy to have you with me. So grateful. Tell us, Shlomo, from the very beginning. Tell us where you were born. I understand you were born in Haifa.
Oh, yes, I was born in Haifa.
Tell us
Religious
about that.
Haifa is it?
How I know Haifa is it's a place of lots of spirituality and lots of beauty.
That's right. They have amazing places. Haifa is also an amazing city. It's a city that we live together, Jews and Christians and Arabs and Muslims all together in the same city.
Yes.
I was living until the age of 16. We were quite poor, so we had only one apartment for three families.
Wow.
Two of them were Jewish and was Muslim.
Wow.
So we were living with one bedroom, Jewish and Arabs together. And all this separation didn't come to the world at that time. So it was,
Right. Wow. Wow.
yeah,
I want to travel to Israel one of these days. I want to visit the holy sites there. They're so beautiful, I'm sure, and you live there,
there's a
so
amazing place of the Baha'is also, the Baha'i
yes, the
temple,
Baha'is, that's right, it's Haifa, the Lotus building, right?
building with golden cap, amazing.
Yes, yes. Were you a happy child? Were you?
It was amazing on one hand. On the other hand, it was a bit strange. My mother was in the Holocaust, she was in Auschwitz.
Oh, wow.
So she gave birth to me only a few years after she ran away from Auschwitz.
Wow.
It was a little bit, I would say, overprotective. She was an amazing woman, but a little bit overprotective. So I couldn't even go down to play with other children sometimes because she was afraid of us. On one hand, on the other hand, we learned a lot. There was a lot of imagination in our childhood, and we got a set of morals that really created what am I, who am I today?
Right.
Run away from all the horror that she had. Before she died, she said to me one sentence. She said, already there, you have been with me.
Oh,
So she was 17 years old and she was in the Holocaust. All her family was killed. Only one sister remained and one brother she didn't know yet, but
yes.
he found him. And in the midst of the horror, midst of hell,
Yes.
and she knew that she would create a desired future. She was a very powerful woman and she was like Viktor Frankl. She was imagining her future, and she knew that she will have children. So in a way, I was there with her already to help her at that time, which was amazing.
Wow.
And to live with such a woman and to be with her, educated by her, was an amazing, amazing feeling.
I'm getting
Very powerful.
goosebumps.
Yes, that's
Beautiful.
right.
Beautiful. And then, so it was just you and your mother, or
No, no, we have been three children, three
three children?
brothers. This is another story, but let's go further. I have a lot of stories. If we begin with
Yes,
stories,
I imagine you do, but it's
endless.
okay. We stories are important because stories set the stage of who you are and they tell the world who you are. So stories are very important. So then what
Okay.
happens in your life?
It's always a little bit funny because people want me to share, on one hand, titles, on the other hand, how I made the transformation, And I can share with you the titles, you know. I've been a judge, then I've been the legal
Yes.
advisor of the Israeli parliament,
Yes.
then I've been the commissioner for future generations, etc.,
Yes.
etc.
Right.
But beyond all these titles,
Yes.
I think I was lucky. I was lucky to live in an amazing place, to be part of my faith from the very beginning, because I was born and raised in a religious family,
Right.
Orthodox religious family, which on one hand was horrible because it was very controlling, like
Yes.
religions. It was very, in a way, right and wrong were very clear. And also what was very clear is we and them. No
Right.
religion where there is a separation. But
But but because you had that, you were able to be the right, wrong decision maker in your career as well, right?
yes, but when I was a judge, I was the youngest judge in Israel at the time.
Oh, wow.
I read one sentence that I think began to change my life. Chuang Tzu said, when the heart is open, right and wrong are disappearing. So for me, it was like a shock. I was a judge, you know, who's right, who's wrong, who's right. You know? I sent thousands of people to jail in my life. It was really not a good karma to begin with.
Right.
At the end of the day, I realized that what I have to work on is to open my heart, to go
Right.
beyond the separations and beyond the fear and beyond the anxiety.
So was it like one day where that realization came to you and it tore your heart open in a sense?
Yes, on one hand, as I told you, I was raised in a place that God was there. So the philosophy, who is God,
Yes.
that God goes beyond separation, was with me from early childhood.
Yes.
Then, when I was a judge, when I was a quite young person, I was 34
The
years old,
youngest. Yeah.
yes, all of a sudden I realized that maybe dealing with what is right and what is wrong is not my calling, and especially not sending people to jail. It's not my calling.
Right.
And when you are stuck in a job that people not appreciate it, it's easy to leave it and go forward. But when you are stuck in a job that everybody thinks that you are, and you are very good, and your ego is fed all the time, then you know it's not easy to let go.
Right.
So it took me 3 years. After 11 years, I left judges.
Wow. 11 years is a long time.
Yes. That's it at the end. And but I can say something about my life path that began then, maybe before.
Yes.
All my life, since childhood, I knew that the world is not only what we see in our linear mind.
Right.
I knew that there is always something beyond. This was my life faith, life belief. It was also something that goes with me till then, until this very day. The question is, how do you call it? The question is, how do you create peace on this planet Earth? How you unite people together?
Right.
This is the question. But the thing that there is God or existence or whatever you want to call it, I knew from early child.
Right.
It was part of me, all my
Right. I I believe like you have to see one to recognize that the other is needed, right? In that sense. For that realization to come, you have to see what the other is, right? Before you recognize that we're all one, that our heart needs is the most important thing. Our heart needs to open. These realizations only come once you go through the suffering, for lack of a better word.
Yes, I'm looking at you. You know, it takes one to know one. So when I feel people with open heart, and my heart is open, the energy is there. We are talking a lot about resonant leadership. Go beyond the leader and the follower and all this hierarchy and macho
Yeah.
leadership that all the world
Right.
is suffering out of it now. So when I'm looking at you, although you are far away from me, and although if I try to give you a hand, I can touch the screen, I cannot even
Yes,
touch you.
yes.
But on the other hand, I can feel your heart open, and my heart open. Then the whole situation, the whole space, I would say, the whole dimension, is dimension of love. And when there is dimension of love, then things are getting very, very simple, really
Yeah.
very simple.
Yes.
And then when I'm not judging myself, I'm not judging you. And this resonance is not even scientifically, is one of the most powerful energies in this world.
So you've written lots of books in your life. Is this as a judge and not as a judge? And when you consider the topics of the different books you've written and the transition that happens from one person to the other, almost you have to say, like, you're a different person now than you were back then.
The truth is that you're wrong. The truth is that since I was young, I was a student, I was teaching in the university's law all the time. I didn't write so much. I didn't write so much because I felt that I cannot write the way Academy wants me to write. I was quite rebelling since early age that I'm committed to create something new, innovative,
Right.
creating the desired future, as you know,
Yes.
and going beyond what is right or wrong, or even avoid any kind of used or old knowledge. What
Right.
you have to do all the time is to create, yes, I wrote books, but it is something to create something totally new that comes as an innovative. And even the stories I'm telling, if I don't feel that they have a new taste in it, a new energy, I'm not telling them. There are stories that I was telling for hundreds of times in my life, but every time I'm looking inside and I see if I can bring something new with this story, it is great. If not, not. And I'll tell you a story.
Please.
Comes to me now. There was one of the Jewish sages, his name was Nigun. Magid means the one who is telling storyteller.
Storyteller.
One of his students asked him, how come that for everything you have a story? Every situation in your life, everything you have a story. So he said, you know what? I'll tell you a story that shows why or how. And the story is about a prince that was very good in shooting arrows. And he went in the forest. All of a sudden, he saw a wall. And in the middle of the wall, exactly, there are arrows in the middle of a circle. So he saw maybe somebody is better than him in shooting arrows. So he sent all his people to find this man. After a few days, they came with this man. His hand was broken, he was handicapped. He hardly can hold the
Piero.
pain, and was really. So he asked him, how did you do it? He said, very, very simple. First, I shoot the arrow, and then I draw the circle. So he said, the thing is also with stories. When I hear a good story, it comes to me, and it's somewhere there in my brain, my mind, my heart. And when there is a situation like this, like now, the story pops up, and all the time another story pops up. And when
Yes.
the story is right on the spot, it works. If I'm trying to recall the stories, it will not work. This is the way I do it. And
Yeah.
first of all, I'm shooting the arrows, and then I'm drawing.
Then we'll draw the circle. Okay. Okay, so then this story goes to the point that it's we have our stories in our lives, except the perspective of these stories may be very different than we originally saw that story.
Yes, but also about our life stories, about narrative. I will
Right.
say a few things, comment on this. First of all, we have to understand that we are all addicted to the drama.
Yeah.
We are
And
now kind
chocolate.
of a product of the TV,
Yeah.
of the media, and the media is based on drama. So because we are addicted to the drama, we live kind of a twisted reality.
Right.
Because maybe I don't know how many people will look on this podcast, will hear this podcast, but I'm sure that if nothing harmful will happen here, if not any kind of victim will be here, if we will not burn I don't know, the screens on fire, it will not be in the newspapers tomorrow.
Right.
But if something bad will happen, then we'll know about it.
Yes,
So all the media is
that's the sad thing.
yes. So all the media is based on telling bad stories, worst, dramas, tragedies actually at the end.
Yes.
So this is something to understand. And when we are not there and we are not captive of these kind of stories, we can transform the world.
Yes.
Israel now is not in an easy situation. And I must tell you and share with you that I'm feeling a lot of grief and sadness of what people have done to Israelis and that Israelis are doing to the Palestinians. It's really a horrible situation.
Yes.
But since the 7th of October, all the Israeli TVs and all the channels they only talk about the war.
Yes.
And a lot of things are happening on this planet. Some of them are good, some of them are not good, but a lot of things. And because we are brainwashed so deeply, we live this as this is the only reality. And it is not.
Right.
If we talk about SGLA, you are in SGLA, it's an amazing situation that we can help the world. We are training the future leaders of this planet. And doing this, it's a very optimistic situation. But you
Yes.
will never hear it if it's not too dramatic. And also dramatic, it's okay, but it has to be on a bad place, on something, on a kind of a risk, or kind of a disaster. If it's not a disaster, you will not hear it on TV, on the phone on TV. This
Yes.
is something you have to understand.
Yes.
And this is also about personal story. Because you have your personal story, I have my personal story. But we have to understand it. Most of the time, it's a narrative. It's something that we believe in. Unfortunately, it may not be the truth.
True.
Unfortunately, it can be something else. And what is more important, we can change it. We can transform our narrative, can choose the best story that can make us the best version of ourselves. So this is something also to understand. And the moment I was able to look at my story, or even my mother's story about the Holocaust, in an optimistic way, all of a sudden it became a very powerful story that gives people hope. Because if she could create a desired future, I can create my desired future, and you can create a desired future.
Right.
And all the people who are listening to us can create their own desired future. So all of a
Absolutely.
sudden you see it's instead of being like a story of a victim, it's the opposite. It's a story of people who took responsibility on their lives, who
Yes.
create the best future for themselves, who create families, love, heart is open, and they can go beyond the separations and the fear, which is important. So I'm not different than you by, I don't know, by your look. Maybe the only difference which is really matters is that I'm bald and you have a face. But there are no separations. We are human beings. I'm a man, you are a woman, and all these kind of things. But at the end, it's really, when you're really there, and thank God, I'm living there for a few years. I don't see differences. I don't see the separations. I don't see that this is right and this is wrong. No, when the heart is open, pros and cons are disappearing. And
Yes.
that's, I think, the main message that I can give.
When the heart is open, I believe everything disappears that separates us, divides us. And even like, when we think about the world stage and what's happening right now, it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't in the universal consciousness that we brought that into existence in the first place due to our own fears and our own worries and doubts, etc. So there's no one to blame except for ourselves anyways. So, in the if I may quote the Quran, it says when you save one life, you save all of humanity.
That's right.
And oppositely, if you hurt one life, you hurt all of humanity.
That's right. I was teaching about paradise, about Genesis, what we have in the Bible.
Yes.
And there's one thing we don't understand. We were living in paradise. We were eating the tree of life. We were living forever. We could go there totally free, totally naked. Everything was okay. And then we ate from the tree of knowledge, what it's called in the Kabbalah, in the mystical way, called the tree of knowledge, what is right and what is wrong. This is the name
Yes. Yeah.
of the tree.
Yeah.
And we think that we succeeded by eating this tree and we are like God. But this is the opposite,
Yes.
just the opposite.
Yeah.
By eating this tree, we got this punishment that
Yes.
we all the time are judging ourselves and others, what is right and what is wrong, what is right and what is wrong. And by judging ourselves and others, we are creating a lot of suffering within our life.
Right.
So, for example, now I'm talking to you. When I finish, I will say, oh, maybe I should say this or that. Or you will say, oh, maybe I should say this and that. We are always judging ourselves.
It's going to be perfect.
We create a lot of problems.
Yes.
So I think the tree of life, this is a tree that we have to go back to the tree of life to understand that we
Yes.
can go beyond this separation. The moment we are telling ourselves and others what is right and what is wrong, and it's not so easy to understand it.
Because immediately after that, Cain kills his own brother, right?
There began, the problem began there. Cain killed Abel because he thought that Abel maybe has a better way to God. And
Yeah.
since then, we are killing each other because everybody thinks his way to God is better than the other.
Yes.
And God is sitting there and crying because this what was not the real reason what we wanted to create.
Yes.
And okay, I can go on this, but I think you can understand it.
Yes, I
The
do.
only thing is religions created massacres, created so mess on this planet Earth just by the thinking that my way is better than your way.
But
It
there's also beauty in religion too, right? Because that's how we realize the need for enlightenment, the need for love, the need for
true,
coming
but the
together.
only thing that in India they say, and I love it, my way is not the right way. My
Correct.
way is the other way.
Yes.
The moment I know that your way and my way are not the same way, and I appreciate your uniqueness and you appreciate my uniqueness, at
Yes.
that very moment,
Namaste.
religions are amazing because, as I told you, even myself, I
Yes.
was waking up in the morning when I was child in a room that God was there. What is God? Who is God? Existential, not existential, and all these kind of things. So this kind of it needed, and we really developed humanity. But the moment we said my way is better than your way, at that moment war began, and the first murder was because of this reason, as you said, and all the murders that came later, I think, not all, but many of them came on the same ground.
So what was the first day in your life that you started meditating or contemplating this idea?
First of all, when I was a child, I was forced to pray
Right.
3 times a day. So
Yes, of
when you have
course.
to pray, and so you can think of everything when you're a child. You can think of playing ball, of your teacher, or and every rubbish. But you are in silence. 1, 2, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, then something happens. And then I was learning in a yeshiva, in a place, a dormitory that was, we're learning most of the time this, let's say holy scripts. So this brought me in. I was looking inside. Who am I? What do I want? And where am I going? This kind of things.
Right.
And this was a great basis for meditation and contemplation. On one hand, on the other hand, it was also gave me the power to say, this is my way, this is my uniqueness. It's not like the uniqueness of the Jewish religion or the Muslim religion or the Christian religion. It's something that I know what my God, which is in every cell of my body, is God. So I'm part of God. It's also written in the Holy Scriptures that God is everywhere.
Correct.
In every cell of my body, it's God. So
Yes.
the moment I understand that I'm one, what we call interconnectedness, and
Yes.
I'm connected to you, connected to the whole, at that very moment, I know that when I'm listening, I'm getting kind of a message. And if I want to be to be, let's say, to fill my life with light, I'm going all the way with these messages. And all of a sudden, things become, as I said, you more simple. And don't be deceived by the simplicity,
Right.
because sometimes out of too much learning, and I learned
Yeah.
a lot
A
also
lot. A lot.
Jewish religion, at the end it comes back to the simplicity,
Yes.
to who am I, what do I want on this planet, what is my calling, where do I want to go. And this is also what we are doing together in SGLA, as you know.
Yes. Yes. So, when you say, who am I mean, there's so many eyes. There's so many eyes to consider when you say, who am I? Because once you even get to that point where you think, who am I? And you think you figure it out, there's still another I.
First of all, there are good news and bad news, but I want to hear first. So,
Always good news, too much bad news out there.
no, I'm joking. The thing is that I'm asking myself this question every day. And actually, when I'm asking this question, I'm asking myself, how do I want to create this day for myself that will bring me closer to my essence? And the moment I know it, at that very moment, my day is already full of light. I'm praying every morning in a Jewish prayer that says, first of all, gratitude. Thank God for bringing me my soul and spirit to my body.
Right.
This I say every morning.
Yes.
And then I have kind of a wish that I'm sending to the world. And this wish can vary. This wish has to do with my essence. How do I fulfill my calling today? What does it mean? Does it mean to talk to you today? Does it mean to talk to somebody else? Does it mean to sit here and contemplate? And then when I'm seeing this light, it's like when you go in a tunnel and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. The
Yes.
whole situation is totally different. And then, even beyond staying here and now, like the meditation asks us sometime, I can create my desired future within myself. And at that very moment, automatically, my present becomes better because I know why I'm waking up. I know what I want to create. And this gives me a lot of happiness, I would say.
Yes, of course. Of course. Let's talk a little bit about SGLA then and how SGLA came to be. And what is SGLA? We've mentioned it. I know what it is. You know what it is, but let's tell everyone about SGLA.
First of all, I don't know. Things are coming to the world. No, you ask me how it came to the world. Then I'll
Yes.
explain. But
Yes.
it began like around 12 years ago.
Okay.
I was, as I told you, a judge, and then I was legal advisor, more in the field of law. the legal field. And then I became the commissioner for future generations in the Israeli parliament.
Okay.
And this is quite a powerful
Post.
came to the parliament. So every proposal for law that came to the parliament had to come to my table. And I had to check if it's okay with the rights of the future generations.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, from a judge that was dealing with the past, because when I'm judging you or somebody else, what I'm doing is judging you of what you have done in the past.
Correct.
And I'm not healing at the end of the day. I'm just doing things that need to be done, but it's not a healing. All of a sudden, I was talking to I was acting about the future, creating the future. So this is actually came from them. And then I wrote the book Future Intelligence. I don't know if you
Yes.
was able to read it. And
I haven't read it, but I've read the back cover of it so far.
yes, in the back cover it was good because I had three presidents wrote on the back cover, two
Yeah.
of Israel and one of Germany. So I don't know if it makes this book better, but at least there is a prestige in this book. This brought me to understand that my calling has to do with the future. My calling is to help this planet to create a better future for ourselves. So when I got this, I realized that the only way I know that can transform this planet and create a better planet for ourselves, for our children or grandchildren, is to transform the leadership. Because our leadership nowadays is more based on power, on need of recognition, power trips, as I said, and money.
Yes.
And when we want to create a better world, we have to go beyond these interests. And also, I'm saying it quite superficial, but it goes really, really deep. If you want to create a better world, you need to put as leaders people who really cares, people who really understand that they are the leaders and they are controlling the followers. Not at all. When I'm talking to you now, I'm not the leader and you are the follower, and you are not the leader and I'm the follower. We are looking at each other on eye
Right.
level. We're
Right.
talking from heart to heart. And
Right.
this is the way I want to see the world.
Yes.
And I wrote it, and then I created the whole program. And then what happened that many people, very amazing people like Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden and others who are dealing with the new science in the world, very, very famous people and others, also Thomas Hubel and also Frank Kinslow and others,
Yes.
they realized what I said to them. If you really want to make an impact on this planet, to be impactful, effective, and efficient on this planet, you have to deal with the future of leadership. Otherwise, you can say whatever you say, you can be the best scientist upon earth. At the end, you will not have enough impact to create a better world.
Right.
And this is really crazy because we are very good in technology, we are very good in AI, very good in other things. We didn't ask ourselves enough how we create the best future for humanity.
Right.
And so we're captive in other things and we are not focusing on the real thing, what matters.
Right.
And this was really, really sad. So when I began to do it, it was not many people, and it was before COVID. It's already 10 years ago. So I was like one man show, excuse me, for the world. I was going all over the world, but it was only me. The resources were limited. I have to go myself to teach, to talk myself, to teach myself. And but then God helped me a lot by creating COVID. So the
Right.
moment when COVID came to the world, it is amazing. The first week of the COVID came to the world, I created a pilot in Zoom. And all of a sudden, the whole world opened. All of a sudden, people were so happy to talk and share. And what is amazing, people sitting in their home and they are really, really ready to be intimate, to share,
Right.
and to go through the whole process of creating your desired future and also creating your calling or clarifying your calling. And also what I'm added now, it's about radical healing. How you can create a radical healing for yourself on 4 dimensions: the
Right.
physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. So now I will wait for another question.
So were Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, they read your book and they were attracted to you? Is that how you met them originally, or?
Yes.
Yes. Wow. That's,
I wrote them at the
you
end
wrote
that
them.
if they need to make an impact, I knew him before, but I knew them before, but if you really want to make an impact, you have to deal with the future of leadership. And the whole concept of leadership is different the way we're teaching it. We call it resonant leadership.
Right.
As I said before. So, and they were, yes, and now we are for many years already.
It reminds me of my, I'm Muslim, I'm a Smiley Muslim, and our guide leader is His Highness the Aga Khan, and he's written a book called Where Hope Takes Root. And his basic premise is vision, that you have to have a vision before you act on anything. You have to have a vision of what you're creating for your future. So it reminds me of that.
You are originally Iranian, no?
No, I was born in East Africa, Tanzania.
Tanzania, yes.
I was
So
born
just by saying this, that now a Jewish guy is speaking to a Muslim girl, woman,
yes. And happily.
and happily, and we have the same God.
Yes, absolutely.
Not a different God that I have and you.
Everyone has the same God.
Yes. And I didn't ask you, only now I asked you that you're Muslim. I didn't know that you're Muslim.
Yes, I'm Muslim.
And I don't even need to know what religion you are in order to love you or not to love you.
Yes.
This is so simple, really simple.
Yes, absolutely. And this idea of COVID being a catalyst for so much good. I keep hearing it from people I interview that,
And all of a sudden, we see each other when we met each other.
Yes.
I said once that as long as human beings are killing their own species, something has to change to transform on this planet.
Absolutely.
I cannot really, it's not only cruel, it's really stupid. Why should I love you or hate you because your parents are this and there or coming from here and there? Or why should I love you or hate you because you decided to follow any kind of religion or even cult or whatever? Why it is relevant? It is totally not relevant.
Right.
And the moment I'm saying, like now the Islam also says, that everybody who is not Muslim is against us or things like this. Why? It's so stupid. It's really stupid.
Right.
Not only cruel, it's stupid.
Yes.
So fortunately, we have to transform the world. And I'm totally optimistic man. I know that we can.
We have to also realize, though, that the Islam or the Judaism that says stuff like that is the political aspect of it. Because when you go to the root itself, the root is all about how we're all one. When you go to the root of the faith itself, it's all about how we're all one. No one contradicts at that point.
I said once, if we had the privilege to have on this planet Earth now, alive, Muhammad and Buddha and Jesus and Moses.
Yes.
And
Ram and Krishna.
Yes, Krishna, sure. Just for 10 minutes, we can solve everything. The problem is not with the prophets. The problem is with disciples.
Yeah.
And the disciple doesn't understand the message, then they create this.
Yes. Very true. Very true. So I want to
tell you that I will be very happy if many people will come to SGLA.
Yes.
We need to go there.
Yes, absolutely.
The need of the world, because we need to transform the leadership.
Yes.
And it is more than leadership is not only, the leaders of the continents, of the nations, of the countries, etc., or even the CEOs. Leadership means, first of all, inner leadership. We have to learn how to lead ourselves. And then we have to learn how to create this resonance and in the same frequency all over the world, the same energy. And I'm totally sure that this time will come and it will be like a quantum leap. Something totally will change.
So what I want to say here is everyone in the world is going about their life. SGLA is here, there, over here. We're in totally different opposite mindset or different perspective. What's it going to take to bring SGLA closer to every individual?
First of all, prayer.
Prayer.
But more than prayer, because I pray for this every day. This is my calling. Yes. But this is also yours calling and each and every one calling.
Yes.
The moment people will be able to listen with open heart.
Yes.
Just like this. The moment people will be able to listen with open heart about their own calling. You know the story of who are you, what do you want, and where are you going?
Yes.
I'll tell you this story as well, maybe. But
please.
The moment you know, yes, okay. But the moment you know it, the moment you not know it, the moment you are open yourself to listen to it, even if you don't know, if you know nothing, but you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, I have to deal with my calling, with my higher purpose. Why am I here?
Right.
At that very moment, I know that you will come to SGLA. At that very moment, I know that much more people should come to SGLA. At that very moment, I know that we will give hand together and go together to, sometimes we have to go over the edge. We have to go beyond the gap because sometimes it's frightening. Because sometimes you have to look back and to say, oh, I waste all my time until this very moment.
Yes.
So it is also psychologically a great work to do. But as you know already, we do it with love, with total acceptance. And in that very moment, everybody who feels he is not on his calling, or he or she, every moment when you feel like you are not doing exactly what you were supposed to do on this planet Earth, the message is that you can create your calling, you can create your high purpose, and you can come to us, we'll give you a hand, and we'll do it the best way we can with total love. And this love, as I said before, when the heart is open, pros and cons are disappearing, as if we will not judge our children, because, I don't know, try to tell a mother that her child is, I don't know, has a long nose. So,
Pinocchio? You're talking about Pinocchio's mother?
at that very moment, you know that we'll accept you just the way you are, whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you come from. Yes. And you will find the people of your own talking the same language all over the world. We are working now on 50 countries already. So it is happening, and it is going to happen much more.
It's interesting you bring up the long nose and Pinocchio. I was just reading about Pinocchio and how Pinocchio, the name Pinocchio, even the beginning of the name refers to the pineal gland.
Yes.
Right? And how these stories that are so simple as child have these deep meanings in them that, even a simple story like that is asking you to go within and seek within ultimately. And the importance of honesty and truthfulness and how that affects your inner being, not just your outer.
If you mentioned the pineal gland, actually scientifically, the pineal gland is a place that you can look inside yourself in the most clear way by using the pineal gland, your third eye, and all what goes.
Yes.
It's scientifically proven.
Scientifically.
So you can see things, you can see your calling even better, clearer, etc. Yes.
Yes, I bring this up because so many people would say, this whole idea of meditation, this whole idea of manifestation, all this is rubbish. Many people say that they don't believe in it. And so what is one thing you can say right now to those people that watch this, that that would feel that this isn't something that they can benefit from? What would you say to those people?
So first of all, let go of the word meditation. If it's too much for you or it too, I don't know, you can leave it.
Yes.
All the thing is about awareness. And the
Yes.
question, how much you are aware of your own life? How much you are aware, what do you want to create for yourself in the future? The moment you are aware of it, and sometimes it comes just by looking inside yourself. We are too much during our life all the time outside. You're looking at the screens, talking to others, trying to be nice to people, whatever. We need to take time for ourselves. For us, we are the most important human beings for ourselves. I'm teaching you self-love because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. If you cannot go beyond your judgment, you are judging all the people around. So
Right.
what we have to do is to really look inside and see that we are lovable just the way we are. We were creating in a picture of God, and God brought us to this planet. And my total belief it is, and I think many people on this planet, that there is a reason.
Yes.
And we can come to ourselves closer and closer and find the reason. Although we don't find it totally 100%. When we
Yes.
find it, it's at the end of our life. But before that, we can go and come closer to us. And it is very simple. Do you want to be happy? If you want to be happy, to live a happy life, to fulfill yourself, this is the best way I know that you can wake up in the morning and know what do you want to do on this day to
Yes.
make yourself happy.
Yes.
So this is as simple as that.
So you speak about awareness. Awareness is such a deep subject in itself because there's variance in awareness. Awareness at the minuscule level, awareness at the God level, awareness at the human level. Can you speak a bit about how one can become more aware? What's it going to take for one to open up this awareness in themselves?
How many hours we have? But I would say just
The opening, the
awareness has many, many levels.
yes,
First of all, we all want to be aware.
yes,
I was talking to you now and my shirt was torn. I want to be aware that my shirt is not nice and I will go and change my shirt. If you're talking to me on something, awareness is everything. It's just to know and to be aware for simple things. If you are doing things that hurt you or you are hurting somebody who is close to you, awareness, just the beginning, the very simple things. Yes, if you take it to the philosophical way, you take it to the high level way, whatever, yes, you are right. You can go and you can talk a lot about what is awareness and how you can become aware. But the simple way to begin is to be able to be with yourself for a moment and look around and see, are you creating happiness for yourself? Or are you creating pain? Are you creating happiness to others? Or are you creating pain? What are you doing? If you are, I don't know, addicted to something, do you want to go on being addicted or not? And I'm not against everything. It's just, to know what are you doing.
right,
One of my teachers said that the best way people were smoking and they wanted to stop smoking. He said, meditate. I want you to smoke in the most pleasant way. You take a cigarette, you smell it, take a deep breath, you enjoy every breath of the cigarette. You light it, you leave it time. You do it totally, totally with yourself. And then you imagine what it makes to your lungs. And then you imagine how it works. But at least if you do it with gusto. Do it all the way. All the way. Whatever you do in life.
yes,
You want to fall in love, do it all the way. You don't fall in love. Whatever you do in life, do it all the way. And this is just the beginning, in a very simple way. And yes, for sure, if you go more and more to see what is behind or you want to see about your future self or your future lives. As we were talking about, the Akashic records and the karma and things like this, then we go really deep. But in a very simple way, I'm talking very simple.
Yes.
We want to live better life. We want to be the best, to manifest, to be the best of our we can be. Just do it. Just see what makes you best and do it. This
So,
is more simple to explain.
so when I came to SGLA because I was attracted by just a simple video I watched where you were talking. I'm not really even sure what attracted me, but what happened when I was actually sitting with you in the interviewing process, and it's a very beautiful process that you have. It felt like, I'm going through my life right now and something's happening in my life right now. And you came and tapped me on the shoulder to make me aware of what exactly is happening in my life right now. I don't know one sentence you said, and I realized, oh my God, he's absolutely right. But if there wasn't this interaction with you, I would have never realized that. So I saw SGLA as the person who's tapping me on my shoulder to say, hey, wake up.
First of all, thank you very much for that. And
Absolutely.
first of all, I can never know what really taps everybody on the shoulder. All what I can do is to share my life or my understanding or to share my awareness, if I may say. That's
Yes.
all.
Yes.
And I totally believe in synchronicity. At the end of the day, nothing is a coincidence. At the end of the day, I had to meet you, you had to meet me, and I had to tap on your shoulders, or maybe
Yes.
you will tap on my shoulders as well.
Yes.
It goes both ways. And at that very moment, I think will happen. This is the way I see it.
And SGLA is very beautiful because it's you see Shlomo, but behind Shlomo is a team of leadership. No one smaller or bigger than anyone else, and there's a coming together of a beautiful team and a beautiful, loving community, for lack of a better word, that you experience. You don't just experience Shlomo, you experience far greater relationships than that. And I want to thank you for that because you have a beautiful program that has very little to do with its, with status or anything like that. It has to do with loving each individual the best that they can be loved. Very
This
honoring,
was,
very helpful.
thank you for
Thank you.
that. Thank you very much for that, first of all. And this was my decision from early days. Thank God I was a judge before I became a teacher.
See?
Because everybody was bowing to me and say, Your Honor, Your Honor, Your Honor. And I realized since I was quite young that it's not really real.
Right.
And people are bowing to you, or you think you are a guru or whatever. It's not real. Also, with a judge, two people are coming to the court, everybody says, Your Honor. One goes out and say, Oh, the judge was brilliant. And the other side goes out and say, Oh, you're such an idiot. Because one of them won and the other one lost.
Right.
So it's always like this.
Yes.
And and yes, we have an ego, and
Yes.
I have an ego. But if I really understand that I'm the master and not my ego is the master, if I really understand that I'm just like you, exactly, looking at your eyes and talking to you on eye level, and I remind myself every moment of this. Although people say, yes, Shlomo said, Shlomo didn't say, but at the end of the day, if I'm ready to let go of all this kind of ego, so everybody who comes to SGLA feels family, feels home. And
Yes.
then we are just giving hands together to go beyond our fears and to create our desired future. What a simple way to be happy and to create your best life. That's all.
Yes.
And this is the reason I'm not going to with you into the philosophy. There is a lot of philosophy behind it as well, but
I can imagine. Yeah.
Talking very simple now, very simple. So, and I'm talking to these people I want to attract as well. These people I want you to come. I want you to feel it's simple, and you are accepted. And there is a huge family all over the world. We have also these family things, you know. So there is a huge family all over the world of people who speaks your language that want to create the best planet on the best world. So this is it, and you are all invited, wherever you are, come.
I've I've found that my calling, for lack of a better word, is to bring people to teachers like you. And when I come to you, it really felt really good in my heart to meet you, to receive you. And so, yes, I believe everyone that watches this should at least experience SGLA once in their lifetime, if not again and again.
Yes, you make me happy.
Good. That's your calling, to be happy every day. My calling too now. Yes.
Such a
Thank you so much, Shlomo. Thank you so much. It was an honor to be here with you. It was an
was a
honor
pleasure.
to
I'm really
share.
happy with you.
Great pleasure. And let's bring lots of people to SGLA because this is the vision we have, right?
Yes, if you want to be happy, come. Just like this.
Thank you. Thank you, Shlomo.
See you soon. We meet Thursday.
We meet Thursday.